Alright, so welcome back to another sporting connoisseur video, and since the NHL draft is today, it's actually later tonight, I thought it would be a great idea to rank all the draft hats in the past few years. I think I have 14 years on this list, and it's a tradition for draft picks, at least in the first round, to come up to the podium, receive their draft cap, and then pose with their draft cap and their new jersey. So tonight we're going to see the 2023 draft caps, and I have ranked those as well. So let's start with number 14. The worst draft cap, in my opinion, in the last few years was the 2012 draft cap, and this one looks just totally off. Of course, the logo's off center. I don't know why it's stuffed in the corner down there. You could barely even see the logo, and then on the other side, it's just a Reebok, small little Reebok logo. It's completely disgusting. Also, that stubbly texture with that weird stitching, it just looks really bad, and the quality also doesn't look good either. So this is at the bottom for sure. At number 13, we have the 2016 draft caps, still with Reebok, and this design with the word mark Washington around the side of the hat and it goes on top, that's just totally unnecessary. Like, I don't know what they're thinking with this. Obviously, it's just a plain hat, and it looks like the quality is a little bit better, but that weird word mark, and it's all scrunched up at the back too, you can't even like read it. This is second last at 13th place. And then in 12th place, we have the 2010 hat from Reebok again, and this is just a weird one. I mean, that bill especially is off-putting to me. I don't understand why they have three colors on that bill, and it's this low just because it looks weird. There's nothing else really to say about this hat. It's also kind of boring too. I don't understand why they would make it gray. Like, just maybe keep it black the entire way around. That would have been a lot better. So that's why it's in 12th. At 11th, we have the Chicago Blackhawks, I guess the draft hats in 2019, and it's Fanatics. So it's going to be a little bit better quality, but it's just too boring and too plain and too simple. I understand they have that texture on the front of the bill, but it's just a boring hat, and it's not really special enough for the draft. So that's why it's going to be at number 11. And at number 10, we have the 2011 hats, and you could see three of them right there. They look pretty decent, and it looks like the texture of the logos looks pretty nice. I really couldn't get a logo or a hat that was in full detail. I couldn't really find a singular image. Just in general, it looks good. The pattern is nice on that detail, but it's kind of boring. It's just not a favorite for me. There's others on this list that are better. That's why this one's in 10th place. Next, at number 9, we have the 2020 hats from Fanatics, and they're all the way down here just because they're just too boring. They have this little stripe, and it's different for every team for sure, but it's too boring. It looks like a standard Fanatics hat you would get, anywhere. There's nothing really done to this other than this little detail in front, and it's not enough to make it a special hat. All right, moving on. So in 8th place, we have the 2013 hats, and again, I couldn't find a full image for each hat, but for this one, I like the kind of outline design, and I like how the logo is actually front and center. I believe it was the 2012 one where it had the logo on the side. I thought that was totally weird, but this one, it has the logo front and center, and then it has a cool little outline stitching design, which looks a bit strange at first, but at least from afar in these photos, I like it. It shows the differences in each logo really well, and just generally, artistically, it's a nice look, especially for that time. I don't know if this would be popular in 2023, but back in 2013, I bet this is a really good look, and I do remember this hat being worn around a lot. And now in 7th place, we have the 2018 hats, and these are by Fanatics. I believe this was the first year Fanatics made these draft hats, and if you look at it, the texture is very Fanatics template-y, and it's got these weird dots in the center. I don't really love that. But I do like the detailing in this hat. I do like the different colors on the top of the hat and that little Denver, Colorado thing on the bill. I think that's kind of cool, but generally it's not super high, but it's a respectable hat for sure. And then in sixth place, we have the 2017 hats, and I do like the texture of this one. It's an Adidas hat, and comparing with the Reeboks before it, I think this template and the texture is actually acceptable. I'm not sure about it in person. Like, obviously, you have to see all these in person, but just from this photo, it doesn't look like the texture uh, blocks out the design too much. And the stripes going around the back, I believe that's also different for every team. So I do like that as well. Overall, it's a decent hat, but maybe could use a little bit more engineering to it, a little bit more design. So that is in sixth place for 2017. And then in fifth place, we got the 2015 Reebok hats. And I believe this is one of the better Reeboks on this list. And the reason is because of the nice design for each team on the bill. Here I put the Sabres one, and it looks really nice. I mean, it could be seen as a distraction, but to me, I just like the design element to it. I think it looks really cool. Obviously, it's cut off, so it's not a full like image, but just in general, I think it's a nice hat. It's a special one for the draft, you could tell. Okay, and then now in fourth place, we have this year's hats, the 2023 hats that will be seen live on the draft floor. And these ones are good hats. I'm not going to say they're bad. I just don't love the shield logo thing in the front. It's just not my favorite design. You can see Tampa has kind of a alternate logo on the side. I don't believe every team does. Like, you could tell they're decent quality. You got the mesh at the back as well. I do like that. But they are a little bit boring, and to me, the logo is a little bit small, and it's because of these weird shield designs. But it's still a good hat, and that's why it's in fourth place. Up next, it's the 2014 Reebok, and this is in third place. It's a really good Reebok hat. I believe it's the best one on the list because it has the mesh at the back. I don't think any of the other Reebok hats had this mesh at the back, but they introduced it in 2014, and I just really like it. I also like the design on the front right behind the logo. Now, in this image from the internet, you could kind of see how that design in the front of the logo looks really vivid, but in real life, it actually looks more white. So it's more of a covert design, and that main logo up front, which is the blue Toronto Maple Leaf, the embroidered one, you could see that mostly. And the one in the background, it's more of a white-ish thing. So this image picks it up a lot and emphasizes it, but in real life, it's more white and more covert and hidden, which is what I like. So in second place, we have the 2021 hats, and generally I like these because of the design to it. I like the simplicity of the logo and the team colors right behind it, and I do like the mesh again. I just like the mesh because it adds a little bit extra to the hats and makes it more breathable as well, and it does look good. I definitely like that Fanatics logo on the side. It matches really well, especially this Flames hat. I think it looks really good. The bill and the underbill look good too. Just generally, it's a really nice hat in 2021. All right, this is our last hat, which means it is in first place, and it is the 2022 Fanatics draft cap for that draft year. And I like it for many different reasons. Number one, for the design in the front of the bill, showing the team colors. I think that's a really cool detail. And then on the side, it says the city name. So it's Montreal over there with a different color accent, which is really nice. And then on the other side, you have the established date. So when was the hockey club actually established? It actually tells you right there. And I kind of like that detail because it does add significance to the actual draft. Like, if you think about it, a player gets this hat and says, okay, wow, this actual hockey club was established that long ago. I know the Seattle one and the Vegas one won't be as significant, but I do think for these older teams, especially Montreal, Detroit, original six teams, that little detail kind of means a lot. It's a really cool design in general. It fits really well, and you got that mesh in the back to complete the look. This is definitely my favorite hat And that concludes this video. If your team's hat wasn't on this video, I'm sorry. I just picked the kind of first one I saw on the internet. So I didn't really, spend too much time trying to pick through every team, but I did try to mix it up a little bit. There were a lot of Canadian teams just because those are the ones that sell a lot. So anyways, that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoy the NHL draft if you're going to watch it. I have another video in the pipeline. It's going to be an MLB Stadiums video, so definitely stay tuned for that. Please don't forget to drop a like on the video for the YouTube algorithm and subscribe to my channel to support me. And leave a comment down below your thoughts about this ranking and NHL drafts in general. I just want to know. Let me know what you think. Thank you ever so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.